How's everybody doing? Good. Well, you know, we went inside today. I'm sure you'll wonder why, but I think that we've always on occasion made a decision based on where our team is from a recovery standpoint with the workload that we're going through as to when they need a little bit of a break from the heat, where we may start having more issues if we continue to practice outside. And yesterday was, you know, particularly hard on the players, even though it wasn't the hottest day. I think it's the cumulative effect of, you know, the constant 2-1, 2-1. So we decided to go inside today to give them a little better opportunity to be able to recover and not be in the heat as of today. And we'll make that decision on a day-to-day basis. I think that probably improved our mental intensity, our ability to focus and actually practice a little bit better, which to me is probably more the objective at this point than getting acclimated to heat that we may never have to play in. So if a guy's not acclimated to the heat by the number of 14 or 15 practices that we've had out there in it now, I don't think he's going to make it. But, you know, the practices have been good. The tempo has been good. We continue to make improvements. I think there's areas of our team that we need to continue to improve in. There's not an area of our team that we couldn't stand to improve in some phase, some part of, whether it's technique, assignments, mental errors, ability to make plays and finish plays. And we continue to stress the fact that we need to finish things. We need to give effort, play with toughness, and be able to execute regardless of what the circumstance is and have the mental toughness to kind of persevere it. So, you know, Brandon Ivory got a sprained knee. It's not surgical, won't be out that long. R.E. has had a little bit of patella tendon problems in his knee. He had it earlier, missed a couple days, flared up again, so he may be out for a couple days. Dre has a leg contusion. He may be out for a couple days. But, you know, those are really the only guys that have any injury problems. Just to address this, and I'm going to address this, and I know that, you know, sometimes you all don't understand, for people who are in the communication business, basic English. I'm going to address this, and that's it. Okay? All this stuff about Miami, I know nothing about Miami. I don't have time to deal with what's going on in Miami. I know what goes on in this program, and I know that we do things correctly. We do have people in this organization who work there. Before those people ever were hired here, we do an NCAA check to make sure that they pass all compliance criteria and don't have any red flags relative to compliance history. And we certainly did that in both of these cases. Now, if any of these people had any wrongdoing, I'm sure the NCAA will investigate it in due time. And if they did anything wrong, I'm sure they'll get the appropriate punishment, which we would do if we had any internal problems in our organization. But we're going to continue to control and manage and monitor what we do in our organization and do it correctly. And that's basically all we can be concerned about. So, I don't think anything else needs to be said. Deron Carter is still, we're still trying to get transcripts. We're hopeful that we'll get them by the end of this week, but the week's running out, so I can't really make any more comments about that. And I was actually pleased with the NFL decision, because one of the things that when we were in the agent control business with the NFL Players Association, with the NFL, with a council of people from management in the NFL, mostly general managers, and the 4 or 5, you know, college coaches that were on trying to get this to where we could work together to try to manage this. One of the things that we tried to emphasize to the NFL and the NFL Players Association is if a player gets suspended in college for violating a rule with agents or any other kind of way, that should carry over into the NFL. and that he should be financially penalized for that. And the team that drafts him should know that before it ever starts, before they draft him. That was one of the things that we talked about, and this is kind of what happened here. Now, whether that becomes a policy or not, I don't know, but I'm hopeful that we can continue to have dialogue and continue to guys that don't do the right things in college should not be able to go on to the NFL and not have any consequences. And this is something that I think shows that we are trying to help each other to manage our business so that there's some consequences when a player goes on if he hadn't done the right thing when he's in college.
How do things stand in terms of where the team is going into the scrimmage on Saturday?
What do you mean, how do they stand? I mean, we're practicing every day. They're working hard every day. We're going to have a scrimmage on Saturday to evaluate where they are. So we'll know where they stand after the scrimmage on Saturday. But right now, as they stand, I'll bet you they're tired, they're sore. They're probably all standing downstairs soaking wet from working hard. But I don't know what you mean by where they stand. I'm standing here.
Fair enough.
Anybody else?
His teammates refer to him as a beast. That's Courtney Upshaw. What do they mean by that? What makes Courtney such an impact player?
Well, I think really what Courtney's really become is he's always a good football player, but you know, sometimes there was, you know, a little bit of hesitation in terms of, you know, going all out and throwing it all in all the time. And, you know, he's all in all the time. I mean, he gives tremendous effort on every play. He's kind of trained himself and conditioned himself to be able to sustain that way. So not only does he have really good physical ability, he's just relentless as a competitor. And, you know, that's one of the great things about most good pass rushers. They have that kind of relentless sort of attitude about trying to get to the quarterback. And, man, he is one of the most relentless guys that we have on our team when it comes to, you know, competitive spirit, competitive ability, giving effort, great effort, and extra effort, and finishing plays. So if we had every guy on the team that played like he plays, we would really be pretty good.
With Nico, he kind of got forced into action as a freshman. How far has he come from that point, and where does he stand today?
Well, Nico does a really good job for us in regular defense. You know, he plays the run well. He's big and he's physical, and the way we play, you know, we're always playing blockers and taking on blockers and trying to defeat blockers regardless of what kind of offense that we play. And he's done a really good job of that. We try to continue to develop a role for him in nickel. You know, that hadn't happened, you know, yet, but, you know, we got some very good complementary players to go with him. You know, C.J. Mosley is a little bit the opposite. You know, he's very athletic, makes a lot of plays on his athletic ability, which is the kind of guy you want to play in nickel when they're throwing the ball more. So those two guys complement each other, and they've both done a fantastic job in their role for what they do. But Nico is much more confident, has really good security about what he's supposed to do and how he's supposed to do it, and I think, you know, that's going to help him perform with more consistency and feel better about it in the future as well.
When you play a game in a place like either Atlanta or Dallas or Florida, how much can that help you in recruiting a year or two later?
You know, I think exposure is always good for your program. I think exposure is important in recruiting. I think the more young people hear about you and see you, whether it's in your area on national sort of broadcast, you know, all those things are very helpful in terms of branding, you know, your program. And, yeah, I'm really proud of what we're able to do here and what we've done here, not in terms of how many games we won, but, you know, how we represent the university, the character and attitude of our players, the kind of people they are, the academic record that we have, as well as, you know, how they compete on the field, not necessarily how they win or lose the game, but how they compete on the field. And I think anytime we can put that out there that could be a positive for us in influencing other people who want to be in that kind of program to have interest in it. So when we play in these various parts of the country, I think it's sort of spreading the word.
Nick Gentry came up here the other day and talked to us about his kind of a passion that he has for helping the younger guys come along. Can you talk about his contribution to the program?
Nick Gentry is really a guy, you know, most people are really all about themselves and worried about them and, you know, self-absorbed, how does it affect me? And, you know, he's always been one of those guys that really cares about his teammates and has a special sort of compassion for the younger guys on the team, and is very, very helpful because he's smart and he understands what we're doing. He doesn't make very many mental errors. He's been around here for a long time. He's always had some kind of role on the team, and I think he really enjoys, you know, doing it. I think he would make a really good coach too, and I bet you he would be mad at me for saying that because most of our guys probably don't think coaching is a great profession. Thank you.